Picture a vast, gleaming stainless steel room where enormous vats of pale tea swirl softly, waiting for the moment they get packaged. Under the hum of pumps and the hiss of chilled water lines, workers in crisp white coats monitor gauges, tilting their heads as sensors blink green, verifying that everything is just right. But you're going to be shocked to hear that this isn't a craft homebrew setup in someone's kitchen. No. Instead, this is an industrial-scale production of the fizzy, tangy beverage known as kombucha. Bubbly, tangy, slightly sweet, that crisp fizz that tickles your tongue. Have you ever wondered how this living tea actually comes to life? A drink that has grown from humble jars on kitchen counters to becoming so popular that a fully equipped facility is now producing it, tapping into the massive global health drinks trend. Today on Whole Process, we're going for a swim into these very vats to find out the true details of how it's made. Let us warn you though, behind this simple label lies a very detailed process, far more complex than most people imagine. Kombucha's story begins with something incredibly simple: tea, sugar, and water. Yet this humble trio has built a global industry worth billions of dollars, with production plants operating on nearly every continent. The drink's roots trace back to ancient northeastern China, where it was brewed as a tonic for vitality. By the 20th century, it had spread through Russia and Europe, and by the 21st, it became a mainstream wellness beverage. But there's also a great secret about kombucha that we'll be unveiling later, so stay tuned. But first, we look at the beginning of this bubbly drink. Producers buy black, green, or oolong tea in bulk, chosen for consistency of flavor and tannin strength. The tea is steeped at about 80 degrees Celsius in massive kettles. For each liter of finished kombucha, roughly 4 to 5 grams of tea leaves and between 50 and 150 grams of sugar are used. The sugar doesn't just sweeten the drink, it's the essential fuel that powers fermentation. Once the hot tea has extracted its flavor, it's filtered to remove the leaves. The sweetened tea base is then cooled rapidly through a heat exchanger from near boiling to around 25 degrees Celsius. That cooling step is critical. Too hot, and the culture will die. Too slow, and stray microbes could take over. Next comes the living heart of kombucha, the SCOBY, short for symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. This isn't a single organism, but a living ecosystem. The yeast species break down sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide, while acetic acid bacteria convert that alcohol into organic acids, creating kombucha's distinctive tang. At the industrial scale, producers also add a portion of previously fermented kombucha, called starter tea, to lower the pH and give the new batch an acidic head start. The SCOBY may float as a thick mat on the surface, or remain as microscopic cells suspended in the liquid. Each new tank receives a clear inoculation, and the balance between bacteria and yeast is carefully controlled. Every parameter matters. Fermentation tanks are equipped with temperature sensors, oxygen controls, and sampling ports so technicians can track progress in real time. The goal is to maintain a stable, oxygen-rich environment for the bacteria while preventing wild yeast or mold from getting in. Fermentation itself usually lasts between 7 and 14 days. Inside the tanks, yeast cells consume sugar and produce ethanol and carbon dioxide. The bacteria then oxidize that ethanol into acetic acid, gluconic acid, and other compounds that give kombucha its layered, fruity, vinegary flavor. The temperature is kept between 25 and 30 degrees Celsius. Too cool, and fermentation slows. Too warm, and the drink can develop unwanted flavors or excess alcohol. Technicians monitor 3 key values: pH, sugar concentration, and alcohol level. The pH gradually drops from about 5 to below 3, while the sugar concentration, measured in degrees Brix, steadily declines as the microbes consume it. Alcohol content must remain below 0.5% to stay within non-alcoholic standards. As fermentation proceeds, a new SCOBY layer forms on the surface, a cellulose mat secreted by the bacteria. After the batch finishes, this layer can be lifted out, washed, and saved to start the next cycle. The result of the first fermentation is a tart, effervescent-based liquid that still contains yeast, fine particles, and residual sugar. Once the target acidity is reached, the kombucha is transferred through closed, sanitized pipes into filtration tanks. Here, fine filters remove yeast cells and stray cellulose strands. Some producers prefer minimal filtration, leaving a cloudy, raw appearance, while others use microfilters to achieve clear, polished liquid. Filtration systems typically remove particles down to about 1 micron, small enough to clarify the drink, but gentle enough to keep its aroma intact. Now comes the creative side, flavoring and blending. Plain kombucha tastes tart and lightly acidic, similar to cider vinegar, but it becomes far more appealing once infused with fruits, herbs, or spices. Industrial producers use accurate dosing systems to add measured amounts of fruit puree, juice, or botanical extracts. Popular combinations include ginger lemon, hibiscus berry, or mango turmeric. Some brands also dilute their base kombucha with filtered water or additional tea to moderate acidity and create consistent flavor across batches. Next, carbonation brings the final sparkle. Although fermentation naturally produces some carbon dioxide, producers often add controlled carbonation to achieve uniform fizz. Using pressurized tanks fitted with diffusion stones, carbon dioxide is infused into the liquid until the right bubble size and pressure are reached. It's the difference between a flat sip and that satisfying, effervescent bite that dances on the tongue. The finished liquid now moves to bottling. Modern kombucha bottling lines resemble miniature breweries, running almost continuously. The bottles are washed, sanitized, and dried before filling. Then, under a low oxygen atmosphere, machines fill each bottle precisely to the same level, cap it, and apply a label and batch code for traceability. Every piece of equipment is made from food-grade stainless steel and connected to a clean-in-place system, which automatically flushes tanks and pipelines with sanitizing solutions after each production run. The sealed bottles are packed into trays, stacked on pallets, and moved into cold storage. Most kombucha is stored between 2 and 7 degrees Celsius to prevent further fermentation. The cold chain continues through transport, ensuring the drink that reaches the shelf tastes exactly as intended. Samples are taken from each batch to measure pH, acidity, sugar, alcohol, and microbial counts. Specialized laboratories test for spoilage organisms and verify that alcohol stays below the regulatory limit. Data from sensors are logged automatically, and if readings drift outside specification, operators intervene immediately. Maintaining this consistency is what separates industrial kombucha from homemade experiments. Remember the health secret behind kombucha we mentioned above? It's quite interesting. Naturally occurring probiotics in raw, unpasteurized kombucha may contribute to gut health by introducing beneficial microbes that support the body's microbiome. What is a microbiome, though? It's a community of bacteria vital for digestion and immune function. Its acidity and low sugar content compared to many soft drinks make it a popular choice for people seeking a lighter, more natural alternative to soda. Even after bottling, kombucha continues to evolve. The beverage remains biologically active, which is why temperature control during storage and distribution is so important. The cool environment slows down the microbes, stabilizing flavor and carbonation. Shelf life is established through accelerated aging tests that expose samples to warm conditions, simulating months of storage to predict how acidity and flavor will change over time. Maintaining microbial balance is another hurdle. Too much yeast creates excess alcohol, but too much bacteria makes the drink overly sour. Industrial brewers maintain master SCOBY cultures in laboratory conditions and refresh them regularly to keep the ecosystem stable. Some even perform DNA sequencing to confirm that the microbial population hasn't drifted over time. Automation has transformed this process. Sensors now measure carbon dioxide levels, sugar concentration, and temperature in real time. Advanced software predicts when fermentation will reach its ideal acidity and automatically schedules the next processing stage. The result is a consistent, safe, and efficient production cycle that can operate around the clock. What emerges at the end is a beverage that's alive and remarkably complex. Every sip contains a delicate balance of sweetness, acidity, and sparkle. Its potential probiotic qualities have made it popular among health-conscious consumers, though scientific studies continue to explore its actual benefits. What's certain is that kombucha offers a sensory experience unlike any other. A product of living fermentation, the next time you take a sip of kombucha, think of the journey it took, from a leaf on a hillside to a sparkling drink in your hand. Behind that simple label lies centuries of fermentation wisdom, microbiological science, and industrial craftsmanship working together to create something that feels both ancient and modern. If you enjoyed this look inside the world of industrial kombucha, consider sticking around for more stories about how everyday foods and drinks are made. If you enjoyed discovering how kombucha is made, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves learning how everyday products come to life. Because every factory, every recipe, and every process has a story, and we'll be uncovering many more of them. As always, thank you for watching Whole Process. We'll see you in the next one.